Are you looking to learn a little bit more about the Fraser Heights community in Surrey, BC because maybe you're thinking about moving here or maybe you're just curious about everything about the area? Well, the good news for you is you're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about Fraser Heights. What's going on, guys? My name's 𝐁𝐨𝐵𝐤 and I'm a local realtor right here in the Surrey, BC area. And I'm back again with another community tour within Surrey, BC. If this is your first time on my channel, I make weekly real estate videos pertaining to the BC and Canadian real estate market as well as showcase community tours across the Lower Mainland. So if that's something you're interested in seeing more of, I suggest you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so you're notified whenever I come out with a new video. Recently, I've been getting tons of calls, texts, and emails from individuals just like yourself who are looking to make the move to Surrey. And I absolutely love hearing from you. So if after watching this video today, it is something that you're considering and want to discuss your situation a little bit further, you can scroll down and hit the first link in the description to book a call with me at your own convenience. And one last thing before we get into the video today, and that's if you could like this video so the algorithm will push it out to more individuals just like you who want to learn more about Fraser Heights. And with that, let's dive right into it. Fraser Heights is a diverse, quiet, and affluent community. The neighborhood itself is tucked away and secluded from the rest of Surrey. It's a well-designed residential area interlinked with more than a dozen parks, beautiful landscaping, wide streets, walking routes, creeks, and peaceful ponds. On the north side of Fraser Heights, you're going to be able to find gorgeous views of the Fraser River, the valley, and the mountains. Residents of this neighborhood consist of mainly upper income families, and it's primarily zoned for large single-family homes. In comparison to the rest of Surrey, it's a relatively newer neighborhood, and as you'll learn throughout this video, it's a great place to raise a family. Moving on, let's look at its location. Fraser Heights is one of the neighborhoods located in the broader scope of the Guildford community. Located in North Surrey, Fraser Heights is on the north side of Highway 1. It's bordered by the Fraser River to the north, Bolivar Heights to the west, Guildford and Fleetwood to the south, and Port Kells to the east. Moving on to the time that it takes to drive to major landmarks across the Lower Mainland, it's going to take you about 20 minutes to get to the Costco in Surrey, 5 minutes to get to the Guildford Mall, 15 to 20 minutes to get to Langley, 40 to 50 minutes to get to downtown Vancouver, 20 to 25 minutes to get to Burnaby, 10 minutes to get to the Surrey City Centre, 15 minutes to get to the Surrey Memorial Hospital, 45 minutes to get to the Vancouver Airport, 35 minutes to get to the US border, and 40 minutes to get to the Tsawwassen ferries. Moving on to housing, the area is made up primarily of detached homes. There are a limited number of townhomes, however there's more coming, and there's currently only one condo building, but there are more coming in the near future. In regards to the attached properties, they're all newer and less than 10 years old. And as I mentioned, there's lots of new construction and development going on. Altogether, there's nearly 5,000 households housing over 20,000 people. Moving on, let's look at home prices. Looking at the current benchmark prices, detached homes are at 1.76 million, townhomes are at 890,000, and for condos, as I already mentioned, there is only one building, so there actually isn't enough data to pull from. But from a few months ago, we saw that it was in the mid 500,000. But as an estimate, you're going to be able to find a 1-bedroom starting in the low to mid 500,000s and a 2-bedroom starting in the mid to upper 600,000. And based on the time that you see this video, prices could definitely have changed in either direction, so I will leave a link down in the description with current prices. In regards to the rental market, there's not a ton of options. And a big reason for this is, as I already mentioned, there's not many condos or townhomes. So you're more than likely going to have to find a basement suite or the upper floor of the home, or alternatively, an entire home. So this means home prices in Fraser Heights are higher than the average in comparison to the rest of Surrey. In regards to rental prices, you're going to be looking at around $1,700 for a 1-bedroom apartment, between $2,300 and $2,400 for a 2-bedroom apartment, although these are extremely rare, around $1,200 for a 1-bed basement suite, between $1,600 to $1,800 for a 2-bed basement suite, and somewhere between $2,400 and $4,300 for a 3-bedroom upper portion of a home. More than likely being in the middle to upper end of that range, especially if there's a 4th bedroom. Moving on, let's look at some of the highlights of the area. First, we've got the parks and outdoors. Fraser Heights is home to dozens of parks, creeks, and ponds. From various areas in the community, residents can enjoy breathtaking views of the river or mountainsides, all of which add to why it's such a great place to live. Next is the schools. Many families choose to move here not only because of the high grades and education standards, but also because it's a safe community. Both Pacific Academy and Fraser Heights Secondary have many students who do well academically. And this again is a major draw for families into this community. Next is that Fraser Heights runs at a slower pace. Residents describe it as an island in a big city. You won't get stuck in traffic or find big name box stores here. The bottom line is if you like a slower paced, affluent community, Fraser Heights is the place for you. Moving on, let's take a look at the parks. As I already mentioned, Fraser Heights is home to more than a dozen parks. There are a number of smaller parks in the neighborhood itself, but if you're looking for longer walking trails and diverse wildlife, there's plenty of others nearby. Now I'd like to go over a couple of my favorites. Number one being Fraser Heights Park. This park is situated nearby the Fraser Heights Recreation Center as well as a secondary school. Here you'll find a park for youth with a skateboard park, outdoor basketball court, tennis courts, training wall, turf fields, and an all-weather gravel field. The park also backs up onto a forest where you'll find a number of natural walking trails that connect to various points in the surrounding neighborhood. Next is Irma Stevenson Park, and this is where you're going to want to head to spend an ideal summer afternoon. Here you'll find a water park for the kids, picnic tables, picnic shelter for group outings, a baseball diamond, and a soccer field. And I can personally attest to that because I spent a lot of time playing soccer here in my youth. Next we have the Surrey Bend Regional Park. This is located on the banks of the Fraser River in the northeast corner of the city. The site is unique in many ways, including its position as one of the few remaining large, undiked sections of the lower Fraser River. Some of the highlights include plenty of walking trails, picnic shelters, a nature playground, and more. Moving on, let's take a look at the schools. There are 4 elementary schools, 1 public high school, and 1 private high school. For elementary schools, you've got Dogwood, Irma Stevenson, Fraserwood, and Bothwell. For your public secondary school, you've got Fraser Heights Secondary, which is well known for its excellence in sports and its highly successful ELL and music program. And lastly, and most notably, Pacific Academy. Here you have both primary and secondary schools included. This private Pentecostal Christian school has state-of-the-art buildings housed on a 40-acre campus. The school has 4 classes per grade and over 200 staff members as well as 1,500 students. For students in grades 11 and 12, they offer the opportunity to enroll in the IB program. If you're not familiar with this, it's a rigorous academic curriculum for the curious, highly organized student who loves learning. The IB diploma program is a 2-year educational program primarily aimed at 16 to 19-year-olds in 140 countries across the world. It provides an internationally accepted qualification for entry into higher education and is recognized by universities worldwide. And in all honesty, I'm not even going to try and pronounce what IB actually means, so I'll leave it right here and I'll have links to the program in the description below. In regards to daycares, there's a good number in the Fraser Heights community, and if required, there's several more just on the other side of the highway in the Guildford proper community. And as I like to warn people, if you are considering making a move to the Fraser Heights community or anywhere in Surrey for that matter, I suggest you apply for daycares sooner than later because waitlists can become extremely long. Moving on, let's take a look at some of the amenities, stores, and restaurants. Although the Fraser Heights neighborhood doesn't have a ton of amenities itself, there is one that I would like to highlight, and that is the Fraser Heights Recreation Center. This is located in the center of Fraser Heights and right next door to the Fraser Heights Secondary School. This multi-purpose facility is open 7 days a week, and it offers fitness classes, gymnasium sports, and weight room access. Additionally, they have free parking, childcare services, lit tennis courts and a practice wall, and sports fields. Their programs offer registered and drop-in classes from everyone from preschool to seniors. So there's really something here that everyone can enjoy. And while Fraser Heights itself doesn't have a ton of amenities, there are several in close proximity. A few of those being the large library and recreation center in Guildford, which again are just a few minutes away. In regards to grocery stores, you've got a Nestor's Market and a few drugstores. For banks, you've got a TD and a Scotia. And for shopping, Fraser Heights has its own local shopping center right in the middle of the community. However, unfortunately, it doesn't have a ton to offer. And although you're not going to be able to find any of the big name brand stores in the community itself, it has all the convenience of shopping at major retailers and department stores at the Guildford Town Center Shopping Mall, which is the largest mall in Surrey. Here you'll find over 200 stores including a Walmart Supercenter, the Bay, Sport Chek, Old Navy, and numerous other stores. Moving on to restaurants, I just want to name a couple of my favorites. You've got Fraser Glen Pizza, Sushi Zion, Pho Hung Vietnamese Restaurant, Dad's Donair and Specialty Foods, and a variety of fast foods such as Tim Hortons, A&W, Popeye's Chicken, and of course, Starbucks. Moving on, let's take a look at the safety in the area. Fraser Heights is a more quiet and family-oriented neighborhood. This makes it a great place to truly relax and get away from the big city. The close-knit community is security conscious and they have a no-tolerance attitude. Residents work with local law enforcement to keep the community safe. They also keep each other well informed on the local Facebook group, which is definitely something you're going to want to be a part of if you end up moving to the area. So overall, Fraser Heights is extremely safe and you really have nothing to worry about. You've also got the Fraser Heights Medical Center nearby, as well as one of the many Surrey fire halls. So even if there is that rare occurrence of an emergency, this should give you peace of mind. Next, let's look at the walkability. Fraser Heights is considered somewhat walkable with a walk score of 51. Some errands can be accomplished on foot, however you're probably going to have to be driving for the majority of them, or taking transit. Additionally, I personally feel that this walk score is a little bit high, but I guess it really depends on what you're trying to get to. In regards to the bikeability, it's considered somewhat bikeable with a bike score of 49. Fraser Heights is extremely flat, however there's just minimal bike lanes, but overall it is pretty easy to get around. And with less traffic than the majority of areas across Surrey, this will make your bike ride just a little bit easier. Moving on to transit, Fraser Heights has a transit score of 43. There are a few public transportation options in the neighborhood, and the SkyTrain isn't too far away. The primary transit lines are going to be Route 555, which heads eastbound to 𝐁𝐴𝐵 and Langley, and westbound to the Lougheed SkyTrain station, and Route 337. This heads eastbound into Fraser Heights, and westbound to Guildford Mall or the Surrey Central Station. And I'll leave more information on these transit lines down below. In regards to taxis and ride shares, the services are pretty good here and you shouldn't have to wait long. And as for a SkyTrain or any form of rapid transit, there's nothing that stops directly in Fraser Heights. However, as already mentioned, the SkyTrain's not far away, meaning that you're only a 7-minute car or bus ride to the nearest SkyTrain. Moving on, who is Fraser Heights best for? First is going to be immigrants. In recent years, a large number of new immigrants, primarily from mainland China, moved into the Fraser Heights area, with the majority of them speaking Mandarin. And overall, this just helps with the diversity of the community. So if you are planning on immigrating here, you can be sure that you're going to be welcomed. Next is commuters. If you have to commute into Vancouver every single day, Fraser Heights should be one of your go-to choices. And this is simply for its accessibility to the highway as well as proximity to the SkyTrain. It's also not far from the Golden Ears Bridge if you need to get to the other side of the Fraser River to places like Maple Ridge or Pitt Meadows. And lastly is families. There is an abundance of young and growing families moving into the Fraser Heights neighborhood. The community is quiet, safe, and filled with many parks within walking distance of home. Plus, with the schools being so highly sought after, it makes for a perfect combination. And lastly, before I finish off this video, I just want to go over a couple of things that you might not like. Number one being that it's not a very walkable community. As I already mentioned, you're going to need to drive to perform most of your errands. And overall, there is less shopping and restaurants than other parts of Surrey. But the good news is, no matter what you're looking for, it's not far away. And you're just going to have to head over to the other side of the highway. The next reason being is that it's somewhat secluded from the rest of Surrey. And technically, this could be looked at as either a pro or a con. So if you are an extremely social person, you may not get as much social interaction as you might be used to. However, you do get the benefits of Fraser Heights being an extremely quiet neighborhood. Unless, of course, you live right beside the highway. And that is something you're going to want to look out for. And that's about going to do it for my video today. So if you did get any sort of value whatsoever, all I ask is that you hit that thumbs up button. And if you are interested in seeing any of my other community tours across Surrey, Langley, or the rest of the Lower Mainland, I suggest you head over to my channel to check them out now. And just before you do that, you should think about subscribing to my channel so you can get all my new videos as soon as they come out. And lastly, if you are considering making a move to the Fraser Heights neighborhood or any of the surrounding cities or communities for that matter, you can scroll down and hit the first link in the description to book a call with me to discuss your unique situation whenever it's convenient for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.